Hey guys, how are we? Can you hear me? Just drop in a thumbs up if you can hear me. Just going to be starting pretty soon. Perfect. Cool. Well, thank you everybody for coming along. I'm just going to go to my screen here. Welcome to the $10 million marketing agency. Just to give you a bit of context as to who I am. So I'm Aaron. I lead the delivery of the Instantly VIP service. So this is our own done-for-you service. We've served over 200 plus clients across the world. Based on my learnings of 1,000 plus campaigns running an agency, which specifically was for marketing agencies, where we got a 95% success rate, I've found the closest thing to a silver bullet for outbound for marketing. And within this chat, we're going to look through, firstly, the actual process. We're going to look through the systems, how to get economic success in outbound. And then we're going to actually just move into the actual plays that work, not just for marketing agencies, but we're going to dive into like different niches of marketing agencies, like different offers, different plays. So you can literally just plug in these things into your outbound and yeah, hopefully get results. And in the past few months, we've had a fantastic team that's ever growing. We've generated 5K plus sales ops. We've managed the creation of 300 plus outbound motions. And I mean, we're spanning across so many different industries. So completely loving doing this and loving kind of getting to be a part of this Instantly ecosystem and getting more results for people. So again, today we're going to walk through the exact steps you need to take to add logos like these into your pipeline. And these are actually logos that we've got in positive replies from and meetings from as well for our clients. And then within this as well, here's just some proof of like actual results. Here's some more proof of us plugging in our actual playbooks. I believe these were both marketing agencies as well. So which is interesting. So the end-to-end system. How do we make outbound a predictable revenue generating engine? People have the misconception with outbound that if you send enough, it's a numbers game, you'll get results. Not quite true. What you have to do is you have to essentially trial and just do trial and error experiment. And we have 3 phases. We have awareness, and this is basically saying, how do I get a positive reply? And then we've got consideration. So it's like, how do I get meetings from my positives? And then we've got decision where it's, how do I get people to buy from these meetings? And if we can complete each part in layers, then we can max spend on what we do in outbound, because we have an economic input output engine where if we spend X here, we get money out here, ideally a good profit. And that's kind of what we're going to run through and go through that. And as we're getting some kind of comments, we'll get to them at the end. I'm going to do 20 minutes walking through the strategies, and then we'll go into some question answers as we go as well. So we're going to focus on awareness today. We're going to focus on like, how can we max positives? And the biggest shift you're going to have to do just now is just try and shift from selling and think about serving. And we do this for our clients through offers, making offers your prospect just can't refuse. So I'm going to walk through the offer creation system. And this is how we formulate our outbound offers and how we get kind of maximum positive responses. It's super simple. And you'll probably notice commonalities with some big sales gurus out there. I've mainly taken in the best of that and collapsed this into an outbound framework, which we trial tested, works really well. The first part is, who's your customer? Then think about their dream outcomes in relation to your offer. What do they want to achieve, right? Think about outcome 1, 2, and 3, Then we think about, okay, what is the biggest hurdle for them achieving said outcome? And once you kind of nail down that hurdle, then think about, okay, well, what's the best offer we could ever make to this company? Let's imagine that we forget that we have other clients, other users, or other customers out there. We just imagine we were to focus our whole business on solving this customer's problem. Think about the value they would get. Now think about, how can I scale that value, or how can I scale it? Super low costs, super low time and resource. So how can I get this out to the masses but still retain that value? That's your offer. And the best way to check if you have a good offer is just ask yourself the question, would I pay money for this? And if the answer is no, it's probably not strong enough, or it won't go as far as you want it to be. If you truly send an offer that people would pay for, then that's when you've got something good. And we'll walk through kind of how this all works in and how this works into deals as well. And what we do is we'll probably create one, two, three, maybe five different offers. And all we're trying to do, and a lot of people get really deep into triggers, testing, all these kind of workflows, which you can do. My first thought is, let's approach this like a university thesis. Let's get a good bit of volume. Let's take out one or two ICPs. Let's create a bunch of variants and a bunch of lead magnets, and let's just see what offer works. Find out the offer that works really well, and then double down on that. And then if you're looking to take that further, if that's in here, then we think about, okay, when does someone really need my thing? And that's when we can think about trigger-based outbound. That's when we can look at, is it tech stack? Is things happening in this company? Are they following a competitor? Are they visiting our site? Are they engaging with us on LinkedIn? Like, there's so many different things. Are they posting for jobs? Like, we think about the position the buyer's in, and then obviously we already have the validated offer that works, so we can come with that. But the misconception is that people typically try and do both at the same time, and you don't know if it's the trigger that got the success or the offer. Find the offer first. You can scale it on its own, or you can add in your own trigger-based outbound. And just a pro tip for making emails unreasonable to ignore: personalization. So when you send these offers, the way to bolster them is to use personalization, to manipulate the sending, to manipulate the message, to look more towards that customer. So again, like, personalization can like really frame that nicely, rather than just saying, like, for example, I saw you went to Harvard. I saw your LinkedIn post about trees. This takes up inbox space and doesn't move the offer forward. The rule is, if it doesn't, or maybe no, my screen up there. If it doesn't change the offer, cut it. Powerful personalization. We built this for sub-industry agencies hiring in city. Made this after spotting what specific competitor missed. Like, we're using personalization to really amplify the offer, not to decorate it. And that's just a run through of that. Okay, so agency playbooks, the one we've all been waiting for. Let's dive in deep. So there's a bunch of so like I was saying at the start with the offer creation, there's a bunch of things that you can run through, a bunch of testing. We've already tested this and it works. So you can just kind of take this essentially. And again, before I go into this, the biggest thing is that the best offers are ones which lead into meetings. So what we're trying to do is send an offer people can't refuse, but make it so that to get the full value, they need to come into a meeting, or they need to come into that next conversion event within their pipeline. And that's kind of what we're trying to do, where we're trying to scale value, because the B2B buyer, especially in 2025, doesn't just believe everything. You can send them social proof, you can send them this, but people want upfront value and they want advocacy. So we need to do that at scale, and that will really shorten our sales cycle. Okay, so we have a content creation offer. So the way we do this play is, let's say that I don't know, if you write blog posts, if you write social media posts, LinkedIn posts, right? We can use AI through super search. We can look at, let's say, a client's website and let's find like a win or a testimonial. And we can say, hey, John, we just turned this into this like authority content based on this thing, something like this. Would it be useful to send this over and kind of walk you through kind of how we can do this more, or how we could lead this to here or something like that. And the idea is that we take one of the recent wins, we can use AI in the back end of this, and all we're trying to do is get them on call and then show them again how this could work further. And obviously that eventually leads into, hey, could you just do this for me rather than me trying to work this out. The LinkedIn ghostwriting offer. This one's really good. So basically, we've got a lot of success with this. So all we're trying to do is just say, had a look at either sub-industry influencers based out in somewhere, and we found like we analyzed all of them and we found the best post structure or like what's getting them results. We took your last two LinkedIn posts and turned them into something that's really viral or something like that. And then all we do is we just send them over rewritten LinkedIn posts, and then we jump on a meeting with them and then show them kind of like a framework of how they can do this. And ideally they say, hey, Aaron, look, this is all good, but we need more support here. We can't just do this ourselves, or we don't have the bandwidth. Could you do this for us? It's the easy way in from that as well. So these will get a lot of positives. Okay, so AEO for a lot of people is really taken off. And the easiest way to get results on here is, hey, we looked at big companies 1, 2, and 3, found out 3 things they're doing to be visible on AI overview. That company name is not. So it's fairly simple. And all we're trying to do is just say like, here's 3 of your big competitors, or even if we want to do big competitors in city, they're doing these things to rank on AI tools. And yeah, this is quick things that you can apply straight to your business. Ideally, they say, hey, Aaron, we don't have the bandwidth to do this. Could you do this for us? And we can frame this as a workshop where we actually kind of take them through this. We can bring their team in there, deliver a ton of value. And the beauty of the offer creation method is that if you try and just sell people on a meeting, yeah, that will work. But if you come in with value, so you're still coming in with the meeting, but you're coming in with value, you will have an increased show rate. And also, along with that, people will just trust you more. They're not feeling sold to. You're actually selling without selling. You're giving value. That's essentially how it works. They feel that they're getting value. You're being so good. You're building a relationship with them. You can even get a testimonial from this, which is even better. I've done this in the past where we drove a ton of results on outbound, and then we helped someone like through a campaign, and they said, hey, we can't work with you right now, but could we just give you a testimonial? And that testimonial helped us close more deals as well. Okay, the PR offer. There's 2 ways you can do this. First way, all we need to do is basically offer a list of hyper-relevant sources they could get featured in, plus a walkthrough of how to get included. So we'd be like, hey, John, found 50 plus Martech sources that are getting this amount of traffic. Could I show you how to get featured in these for free? And then we just jump on a call and literally just show them like, here's how you do it. I'm sure that the PR process is fairly complicated. Do you know what, John? This seems really complicated. Could we hire you? Could you do this? Like, what's your packages? Or we could just say, hey, if we could get you featured in hyper relevant source like the Outbound magazine, would that be interesting? That's also a different way, and that works as well, along with that. Okay. The SEO offer, very similar to the AEO offer. And this is literally just saying whether look at companies 1, 2, and 3, found out 5 things they're doing to land in specific kind of like search results. You can actually use AI to create like a specific prompt. Like rather than saying like roofing companies in US, it could be interior designers based out in Manhattan, for example. And like we found what they're doing to rank in here. Like could we break down like specifically what they're doing and the easiest way for you to apply that into your business? That's another offer that works really, really, really well. And we have the link building offer. This is very similar to the PR offer. This is probably my best one that's worked really well. All we do is offer again, like, hey John, just found like 50 Martech listicles that instantly wasn't included in, but companies 1, 2, companies 1, 2, and 3 were. Could we send you that list and show you how to get listed? And then that's literally it. We either send a Loom video. We can start off by sending Loom videos, then we can strengthen that CTA, make it a bit more meeting led, and then get in meetings where we just walk them through. And again, you can increase your qualification. For this specific one, I think we just ramped it, qualified it. We actually got less positives, but we got more meetings from that as well because we just wanted to deliver that offer to bigger enterprise companies, and it works super well. Also, a web design offer. This is really interesting. So what you can do on Instantly is you could, for example, take like a massive company, find lookalikes, and then you can either use AI. I mean, there's different models where you can just use AI to say like, does this company have a fairly poor website? And then we could either target people with poor websites, or we could just target the mass market. So say like, hey, we just had a look at your landing page, recreated it based on big market leader in city state, or it could just be, if it's in tech, then based on this big company or something like that. Like, would it be interesting if we gave you like a mock-up and kind of showed you how you could plug that into your page, or show you how this could convert better than your current or something like that? But yeah, free sites work well. And again, we can literally use AI to automate every one of these offers. So that the idea is that if you start off by doing it manually, you can even use Instantly's API, and you can use that further as well through NAN, and you can literally put all of this stuff on autopilot, which is pretty crazy because we also have the AI agents that are in there as well. Okay, and here's some additional proof of this working. These are actually campaigns by myself. So you see like 1 lead per 37 contacts, calls booked. You can see that. And it goes on and on and on, like so. And this is what this would look like economically if you employ this approach. And I'm actually going to, after this call, I believe, I'm going to drop you this AI for Copilot, this AI setting, where you can literally, you don't have to hire VIP. You can literally just plug in these settings and it can create this sort of copy for you as well. So imagine you are a marketing agency selling 1.5K retainers, right? You send, let's say, 300K emails over a quarter. You, again, if you think back to the kind of different economics, let's say that we scale our outbound volume, we add in trigger-based targeting, we find our Grand Slam offer, like that offer that works so well in outbound, we do the right ICP segmentation, we land 150 meetings, we have an automated nurture plus an AI follow-up system through our AI agents, and then we convert 15 to 20 new customers, clients, because all we've done is said, how can we max positive? Step 1. How can we max meetings from positive? Step 2. How then can we max closes? Because outbound is a bit different from inbound or different channels. Every kind of lead source needs to be treated differently. If you work that out, then you can pretty much put this in autopilot and then just close deals that come in. And all we're trying to do here is make cold email a predictable input output engine. And that's what we're trying to do. I'm going to give you one more thing before I jump into the Q&As, because I've got a bunch of questions that are going in here. I'm going to give you guys a bonus offer. So 10x scale before Santa comes. So with Instant VIP, if you guys kind of want to jump the learning curve and want to get straight into it and apply these playbooks into your business, you can send up to 300k emails over 3 months. You get a dedicated GTM engineer, account manager, insertion of our marketing playbooks. You get all the things, and that's for 1k per month. If you want to take that to the next step, then you can send up to 1.5 emails over 3 months, get everything in the pilot. You get strategic oversight from myself. You get a full-time map, AI agent setup, and web visitor setup, and dedicated campaigns towards the web visitors. And again, that's for 2k per month. So what I'm going to do is, just so I can find it, I'm going to drop this in the comments. And I've got, I think that's it. So I'm just going to, I'm just going to drop in a banner. Cool. So there is a scheduling link in the comments that I've dropped in. If you can't get that link for whatever reason, I think for some it might not come through. Then if you can't see the link, then email aaron@instantly.ai. Yeah. And that's all you have to do. So enough of me walking through things. Now we're going to jump into some Q&As. So if I did this here. Okay, so feel free to drop in your kind of questions in here. Okay, so hey Aaron, just keep dropping them in and I'll just come through and answer them. Hey Aaron came back to cold email after 2 years off and noticed a significant drop regarding book calls. Yep, okay, sure. Okay, from Alba. Okay, so the thing that's changed in the past 2 years is that people just don't believe stuff. People are more savvy. The B2B buyer has changed a lot in 2025. So the best way to book calls is either a VSL. So we definitely use this. So literally, if you have results, show them. Be really vocal about them. Show them. You'll see even in this webinar, I've just dropped in proof after proof and just showed all these things as well. So what I would say is like lead with value. If someone doesn't book in, then because you will get that, don't try and just follow up like just checking in. Why not just say like, hey, we're running a masterclass to build a $10 million marketing agency. But join and just follow up with value. Give them more lead magnets and just keep hitting with value, hitting with proof. And they can say like, what more proof do I need to send to you to give you this free bit of value? And that's kind of like the reason that we've got offer creation in here is because the B2B buyer has changed and we're trying to adapt with that buyer as well to make sure that we can actually kind of like win their trust and kind of stem that that trust loop. Because when you do it outbound, for most people don't know who you are. And the best way of showing them that, if you think about Alex Hormozy, right? If anyone had the chance, they would probably bring him into their business because everything that Alex does, he just gives it so much value on the front end. And that's essentially what we're doing in a more condensed format. So if you think about what Alex does with all the free value, he almost gives away all the secrets. You can do it yourself, but he knows that the people that want this done fast will pay for that. And that's kind of what we're trying to do. But through outbound, we can target specific companies that ideally can pay for that and can have the budget for that. So hopefully that answers your question. Okay. We tried Loom, VSL, GDocs, other sales assets, but our best book call ratio comes from straight combos. Happy with the results so far. Sales cycles are much longer as well. Okay, for this, I would say it'd be good to know your offer. I think your offer matters a lot, but I think that I mean, there's different ways you're going to approach this. So for me, it would be following up with value. That's the biggest part. So following up with value as much as you can. So value, proof, collapsing them together, but also pick up the phone, call them, or connect on LinkedIn. If you have a big brand in LinkedIn, then like yeah, it's going to work. Let's say you work for Google, for example, and Google are doing outbound, right? If someone was to then, if the head of a department at Google connected with you on LinkedIn, you're going to speak to them because you already know that. So think about all the assets that you can play with and leverage them. In terms of the sales cycles being much longer, it totally depends on what you're trying to sell. I think the reason that they're long is because the buyer's just not fully sold. And that's why we're trying to just deliver, we're trying to incorporate value, like value people would pay for, into the actual sales cycle to accelerate that decision, to win their trust, to get them almost working with us already. When I ran my outbound agency, we could close 3K retainers like in a week. And the way we did it was we just said to marketing agencies, hey, could I book 5 meetings for you? That was it. That's what people want. People want proof that it works. So we thought, like, rather than just giving them, here's a bunch of proof that we've done it, plus we'll do it for free. We've got some pre-warms ready, and we just went and just booked meetings for them. And then after that, they're like, oh, like, where do I send this money? This is great. And we even improved their offer, made it like paper meeting. Like, we tried different things to reduce the kind of risk of their investment. And yeah, that worked as well. I'd say like that was quite a strenuous offer. Try and have a lighter one that doesn't require you to spend economic money. But yeah, but that's some ideas for you. Okay, I'm gonna see my business. Okay, I'm at the early stage. This is from Shireen. I'm at the early stage of my business. I'm scaling with outreach, getting interest, 0.4%. Good, but not enough appointments. I have many options. How to decide what to focus on. So if we refer back to what I showed, but I'm actually going to just like ramp back up to this. So if I just go back my slides, oh God, there's a lot of slides, isn't there? I'm going to jump here. Okay, so if we think about this, I'm going to just hide my camera. Awareness, consideration, decision. So what I would say is, like, if you're getting 0.4, that's good. That's decent. Either try and improve that. I would just say, like, okay, how can we max book meetings? Be super creative on that as well. Like, what more could we do to get them over the line? Look at responses. Some people take the Loom video approach, which works and doesn't always work. It gets you more positives because it's obviously an easier call to action. It's easier to say yes to. But again, think about if you're sending offers, then the best way to do it is try and bake a meeting into your offer. So for someone to get the value, they need to kind of meet you in person. Or you can say, like, why not get less interest and get more meetings? So be a bit more meeting led in that. But yeah, but I think there's lots of stuff you can do to max book meetings, but the awareness is the tough part. The book meetings is the easier part. So I would think about trying different approaches now, like split testing approaches to book meetings, plus pick up the phone and speak to them, and also think about connecting on LinkedIn as well and doing a lot more with them. So I'd say that's probably the best approach there. Okay, I've got another one here. I'm going to just put my face back on here. We do call them, sorry, I'm in LinkedIn. Offer is outbound infra plus rep setup and managing, 50 emails last month, 2% reply rates is for ops, 18 meetings booked. Okay, so what I would say for this is that outbound infra, there's a lot of players out there where there's been a lot of deliverabilities, just a general volatile thing. And outbound, like it's widely known that like there's people that prop up in the market and they fall back out. So what I would be saying is like I would be, if you wanted quick wins, I would run after all of your competitors. I would scrape all their LinkedIn followers, or I would track their engagement. And then I would think about doing some trigger-based outbound in that. I think you'd get a lot of results from that. So looking at these specific people, looking at these competitors that you're after, the way to win on infra is either being the lowest cost, that's one, or being the best deliverability. So there's two kind of approaches there you can go after, I would say. Again, it's your offer. If the best offer will give you 5 mailboxes, domains for free, right? That's the best offer you could make. Maybe make that to a massive agency and it works out really well for you. And makes it really good, really economic. So I think you'd book a lot more meetings from that. Again, think about offer with value. Okay, domain reputation. Okay, so from Aaron, I'm building an outbound program for a client and need to protect their domain rep. They want to send a high volume Apollo.io sequence to hundreds of contacts. I want to scale outreach quickly while staying compliant with email rules on spam, unsubscribe requirements, and safeguarding their domain. Okay, so for this, I'm not fully versed with Apollo sequencer. I've known it for the list builder, so I can't comment on that. What I would say is that there are, I mean, and Instantly is one, but there are a ton of tools that are more equipped for spam, stuff like that. I've not, maybe Apollo's I've not seen that, so I can't even comment on that. Best way to approach it is compliance. It's a great area. Definitely have like a unsub option. I wouldn't put in a link. One is, if you get a cold email and you get sent like a unsubscribe here link, are you going to click on it? For me, like that seems quite dangerous to the prospect. That could be easily framed as like a phishing attempt. So I would say like, hey, if this isn't relevant, then let me know and we won't email you. And then reply, yeah, not relevant. And then cool. And then you've got AI that obviously either removes them into do not contact or unsubscribes. That's the best way there. In terms of honoring spam, if some people go for like long trips and think that's good because you get a higher positive reply rate, don't use your main domain as well. Oh. So again, you get a higher positive reply rate, but at the same time, if you do like a large sequence, you're going to get more people that will begin to be a bit more annoyed, and they're going to be more likely to hit you with like unsub spam reports. Typically, I like to say like, let's send them like 2 emails and then reach out to them maybe in 3 months' time when that business has changed. It means economically you're going to have less burnout in your emails, and you're just not annoying people as much. Plus, you can reach out to more contacts who might be more interested and get quicker replies. So I'd say like those are the best ones to get spam, but also to honor those rules as well and to safeguard the domain. And obviously, just don't sign from the primary domain. That's a big one. You should go away and buy separate domains that you can add in redirects, SPF, DKIM, all that good stuff, and set all that up. That's what I would do from there. Okay, so I think that is me for now. Okay, we've got Carson. I would totally use Instantly AI, so you can buy done for you domains. Yep. Again, it's Instantly has its own built-in feature where you can have your own done for you setup. So the whole process used to be very painful for sure when I was running my agency, but yeah, Instantly makes it just super easy to set up your mailboxes, domains. You can have them added in a flash, and they can be warming up on a premium or warm-up pool as well, which is great. So yeah, would recommend having a look at that. But yeah, awesome. I think that will be me for now. What I'm going to do is you will get an email later on. Within this email, you'll receive some stuff around the kind of co-pilot stuff that I mentioned, like the AI that you can plug into Instantly. So what you can do from here is that you can plug in these specific guidelines. They can take your domain and build out this kind of offer creation style emails that we want. And we'll also send you kind of like the webinar and stuff, so you can actually try out these plays for yourself and try and make them work. And obviously, just drop me like a LinkedIn connect as well. But I should probably drop in my LinkedIn just now. Just whip that up so you can connect with me in LinkedIn, and we'll also drop you an email just with all the stuff. So so yeah, we can chat. Just drop that in comments. There you go. Awesome. Thank you very much, guys. I'm going to be having more and more of these webinars. We've had a really good response from the whole market, for that time of the good words. So again, I'm just trying to get better at it. I'm genuinely, this is stuff that I would say internally. I'm trying to give you as much value as possible and being purely honest about that. I literally, the stuff that I preach about, offer creation, I'm trying to give you value that people might pay for. Like, I'm trying to do that. So I'm trying to, again, practice what I preach. So thanks very much. Really appreciate it. Have a good morning, afternoon, or evening. Bye-bye.